Shoreba, the economic expert, and of course the financial expert as well. Good morning, Dr. Shoreba.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Sir, good morning first, and as my dear colleague Dina said, we are speaking about the many mega projects and many achievements, to be accurate, which was inaugurated or witnessed by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi just a couple of days ago. But I'd like to focus first on roads and the importance of roads as a part and parcel of our infrastructure to connect Egypt to Egypt. And when it comes to Delta, it's not now that very far from Sinai. Sinai is not that very far from Upper Egypt. How do you see the importance of this net of roads?
First of all, good morning, and I want you to consider this type of project as a mega project, not a small one, and it's not a tiny one. And the importance of this is it is linking the nerves of every city in Egypt by itself. So Cairo will be linked to Upper Egypt. Upper Egypt will be linked to the Red Sea. The Red Sea will be linked to the Delta. Delta is linked to the west.
Sinai or the west.
The west part of Egypt. So this is the importance of doing this because it has lots of influence on other things. The first of all is safety and security on the road. Because if you look to very near future, in the past, you find the number of accidents that's been on the road was enormous. So this is one thing when you have a very facilitated road with at least 3 channels every road, that's giving a more secure on the road itself, instead of 2 up and down. And the second thing I would like to say, it is the best for the economy to transport things from east to west or south to north within a very easy access and with the type of transportation, if it's a very loaded one, high capacity of 40 tons on the road or a small one. So this would give you more facilitating things, plus the price of transportation would be minimized.
Sure.
The other thing, it is about giving the Egyptians the easy way to enjoy tourism, because it is easy to go from Minya to the Red Sea. That's a very easy way, and the road is being done. Our infrastructure, the previous one, especially roads, there was in a chaos, was a very almost dead. But right now, you consider this as an important thing because the new type of business we're going to generate, whether in Upper Egypt or North Egypt or the east of Egypt or the south of Egypt. When I say the east, I'm talking about Sinai and the Suez Canal. When I'm talking about the west, I'm talking about Daba and I'm talking about
Matruh, Western Zone.
That's and the pretty part of it is linking the tourism zones with civilized areas, because the tourism always zones are in nowhere, in the deserts. And you go over there a very difficult way, and you might not have the right track, or you will get lost there. So this will improve tourism. Economy-wise, when we talk about this, you're talking about a great value, because the population of Egypt are increasing on daily basis. And these people needs to go out the trend, which is very linked to the Nile, to go either the west or the east of Egypt, or go even more in the north, or in Halab and Shalatin in the south. So it will easy and make the people very comfortable on moving in this. And when you ask investors to come and invest in Halab and Shalatin, or in the west part, or in Sinai, he needs an access of his goods to be moved from one area to another. He needs these things to be done in a proper way so he can manage every time to reach his place.
And no more remote areas.
No.
This expression, I don't think that it's going to be used that with this notion or this way of thinking about Sinai, for example, because the word remote area would give the impression that it's very difficult to reach and no access to this place. And with this network, I think that the case is going to be different.
This is plus it gives you more additional security. Why? Because the police can reach any destination with a very simple ways. The army, when you have people sheltered in a new area, you are giving an access more secure to the army, and that they are watching everybody.
Yes.
And that's,
Right.
that's a good thing.
It's a base, or it's a law that a net of roads is essential for any economic boom, any investment in any country.
Yes.
How important is affecting this network of roads to foreign investment and transportation and mobility and investing on rural areas, and I mean transforming investment and industry from the city to all over Egypt?
Most of the investments area are out of the cities, and they are not located inside the cities. So if it's inside, that's a chaos. So the investments is out of the cities. And you need these areas to be linked with the cities, linked with the ports, linked with every area that can really ship the product out of Egypt, and in a very easy way. And before, it was a very tiny thing. Plus, it would give the Suez Canal an importance, because I do recognized very recently what the Russians, as well as the Iranians, as well as the Uzbekistan and all these countries, India involved in this, about making a new road, 7,500 kilometers, is called the Road of the South to the North. And why they are doing this? They are, it's business. They are not fighting Egypt, but it's business, because they think this will shorten their period of moving goods from east to west by 15 days. We do it in 43 days. When they move from the Suez Canal, it will go. So when you add these roads, and you add all facilities, and you add all this, and you are only one country, over there, it's 15 countries are involved in this. And everyone is doing his maximum to gain part of the piece of the cake. So we are not against Russia, and we are not against even Iran, and we are not against India. But they are doing, they want to have this part of the piece of the cake of investments, because this is what they are thinking. So when we do start doing this, and in, let's say, shining our Suez Canal with lots of ways of roads, so of investors in the south have lots of goods, and he wants to transport it. It's easy way when you have the roads, because on the 7,500 they are putting railways and putting highway roads to cross all these countries to support. We are doing them better than them, because we have the way of access to Europe, whether in the south, we are the very nearest ones, like Italy, Greece, Spain, Portuguese, as well as France. So we are the very near. They have to go from the south and the north to the south, and that's another problem, not for us, but for European countries, to have the main highways through this with the heavy loaded thing. And I want you to put in your mind, one small ship would be at least having 20,000 containers. And if you want to put the 20,000 containers load and unload and put them on a train, you need at least 20 trains to move in one time. Just one ship. But you, as Suez Canal, and you having access facilities for all this, you would easy things. So this is why I support 100% the idea of making new roads, new idea of flourishing the nerves of the body of Egypt together. So when you put north with south, linked, easy link, you're having a great access to the Suez Canal.
And to add to what you're saying, sir, it's not only the roads, housing units, water, electricity, facilities, just to attract those who are going to work there.
Absolutely.
So the investors, whether from inside or outside Egypt, are going to find it more easy or easier for them to come and to have their projects because they are going to have the human resources. If you would elaborate on that.
I will tell you something. Whenever you find a road, you will find a new way.
Build it and they'll come?
Yeah. And this way of living. First of all, the price of land over there will increase automatically. Why? Because it's not in nowhere. It is in that area. It's a very civil. So it will start, I think, if they sold it by, let's say, before, by 50 pounds or $50, they're going to sell it by 500. So the roads are very important to increase the value of the land. That's number one. Number two, when you have people moving and sheltering over there, you're giving an easy way for manpower to work with the investors. Because the investors, he's not coming to work by his hand. He's going to use the human beings of Egyptians worker there. So when you shelter them and you have them for them schools, a mosque, a church, a hospital, you are creating new jobs. That's the importance of this. So roads is not for the sake of one moving in and out. No, this is a big life continuing. This is why I urge our Minister of Transportation, please continue on this, because this manner is the best manner. And we should think also and thank the Army, especially engineering section of the Army, for doing and supporting this idea. It's 1,100 Egyptian companies are involved with the Army. So the Army was supervising the 1,000.
And orchestrating at the same time,
Yes.
because in the sense of the time pace, I mean, this is a
Time
very
schedule
important
is an important thing.
Time pace is very important, because if it wasn't the engineering authority, it wouldn't be effected in that short time. But let us talk again about the efficiency of those roads and the importance of those roads, not only in forming, like Nermeen kindly mentioned, new communities, facilitating electricity networks and sewage and everything, but also on developing of education and health and awareness and new lives in every corner in Egypt. Of course, Egypt is full of resources. It's full of life. The only thing that we lacked is the network of roads, so that we can affect new population and and we can affect the densely populated area and remote them to anywhere else. And I mean, if you like to elaborate on this.
Okay. Let me come back to you to an important thing you have highlighted. In Egypt, we discovered, and what we have discovered of the mining of Egypt is very limited. Why? One of the reasons is gold. The roads. And then I will give you one example, which is gold. What we have discovered is only one mine, big one mine. The rest, more than 120. It's not there. It's not on the map. when you go with these roads and you discover more and more, the value of your Egyptian pound will go up. Why? Because it's an automatic thing. So when the value of the Egyptian pounds goes up, the dollar goes down. Or in any currency will go down. What's going to happen for the economy, for the Egyptians inside? So you will find that 100 Egyptian pounds would give you a great value. So the road are doing part of this economy. What about, as you said, for education? When the value of your currency is going up, it will be easy to build schools, easy to do hospitals. Why? Because you are importing medical treatment equipments. It's not produced in Egypt. And this is a very expensive thing. It's not a cheap thing. When your currency is very strong, you can easily get it with no time. But right now, when you found that you want to buy something and you calculate today's prices, you always say, oh, what a big deal. But once we have to, as Egyptians, we have to do a very simple thing. We have to make our way of working more professional to make and bring a value for our work. Our work is the value of our currency. It's no more than this. Do a great job. The value of your currency will go up. A teacher in his school, if he teach correctly, the students are not in need to private lessons. The family will not lose part of their income in paying the teacher for a private lessons. And that will become an add value to the family so they can, let's say, make their kids enjoy going to sports and to be fit for a better life. So let's think more and more for the sake of Egypt and the new generation. And I watched it, and a very important thing, that President Sisi didn't have the scissor and cut the road, and was not in the front of getting the road opened. It was the generations, the new generations of the University of Bani Suef, and they were there, and they were cutting with the scissor. This is the first time you watch this, a president with his
And he was shouting at the boys, give the girls a chance.
Yes,
and the girls did
that's
yes.
a great thing.
Yeah.
Why he wants to tell the new generations, wake up, we are doing this for you. That's a signal. And because lots of people are sending other messages to them about who is ruling, he's only a selfish guy. No, he's not a selfish. I'm protecting your right, your future right, and you are going to support me in this, and that's your target. He's showing the roadmap. He's not doing anything. He's showing you the road, and this is his job. No more than this. I'm not interested that he goes and work in every field. I want him to show everyone that's the roadmap, and we have to go through this. And this is why everyone should really consider what President Sisi have done yesterday was a mega project. It's not a tiny thing.
Right, Dr. Hussein Shoreba, would like to thank you very much for your valuable input and coming over to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and we're going to go to a short break and we'll come back to you, so you stay with us.